feel like it's too far away.
Oh, too close.
Kids who care. We produce great kids.
In only 10 seconds, I want you to tell me the plot of Peter Pan. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Go.
Alright, Peter, John, Michael, and Wendy get swept to Neverland by Peter Pan, and then they have some adventures with Indians, and then pirates capture them, and they eventually defeat the pirates and live happily ever after.
Oh, Peter Pan goes into the Darling Nursery, and they fly to Neverland next baby with Captain Hook, and then everyone just goes back, and they can't fly anymore.
Some kid breaks into a house, and he's like, hey, go with me, and they're like, yeah, sure, and then they go fly, and then they fight people, and they come back, and then they grow older, and then it's fine.
When the Darling children are in bed, Peter comes in, they take them to the Neverland, they kill pirates, and then they come back and live happily ever after.
Okay, so a boy comes into a house and loses his shadow, but then he takes those kids to Neverland. And then there are Indians and pirates there, and the pirates take... Oh.
Okay, so Peter Pan's creep. He's coming in and snatching the children out of their beds, and then they take them to Neverland, and they kill a whole bunch of pirates. Hook's like, no, bring them back, leave a whole bunch of kids at their house, and it's bad.
Peter Pan is a warrior who can fly and has a sidekick named Tinkerbell, and he tries to defeat Captain Hook.
Peter Pan's this kid, and he doesn't want to grow up, and he goes and he kidnaps some other kids that may or may not want to grow up, and makes them fight pirates.
A little boy named Peter Pan never wants to grow up. He lives in Neverland, and he flies to London to listen to the stories in the windows of the Darling children, and then he takes them to Neverland.
Wendy goes to Neverland, and he likes Tiger Lily, not Wendy, and then they go home.
These little kids are laying down, and they wake up, and then they're in Neverland, and then they... and then they go back.
I forgot the beginning.
Peter Pan flies.
It's about a greenie that flies.
Yeah, she nailed it.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's all about ecology.
The Darling children find a boy in their room, they fly to Neverland, he comes back after they save everybody. Done.
So this kid named Peter Pan takes Wendy and her brothers to Neverland, and they fight pirates and help Indians, and they go back home.
Once upon a time, Wendy and the boys were sleeping, and Peter Pan came in their room, and they lived happily ever after.
Peter Pan comes to the nursery to find his shadow, but then he ends up taking the boys into the Neverland, and they meet the Lost Boys, and they fight Captain Hook, and then they win and save the day, and Peter comes back to pick up Wendy, but she's all grown up, so he takes Jane.
Neverland is a place where you never grow old, and the adults don't like it.
You take these kids to Neverland, and they get to Neverland, and everyone's happy. Hook tries to kill them, so he fights them, and then they get home in the end.
Alright, there's a family, then a creepy boy comes to the window, taking the children off to a strange world where they don't grow up, and they get homesick, they fight pirates, they come back home, and then with many more children, and Peter Pan's the only one that doesn't grow up.
Okay, Peter takes the Darling children to Neverland, and they fight pirates die, and the Indian Lost Boys become friends, and Peter never grows up, and then they go back.
Peter Pan goes and kidnaps some children and takes them to Neverland, almost gets them murdered by pirates, and brings them back, and then he gives all the rest of his kids away, and then they go home, and he says he can't go back to Neverland.
I think Peter wants to kill the Darling children, because that's why he brings the Darling children to Neverland, is to kill them, honestly.
Never grow up.
This guy named Peter Pan flew into a nursery, taught children how to fly, and flew back and took them to Neverland when they met the Lost Boys. And then they went happily back to their nursery, and Wendy grew at the end. Saving the children, Tinkerbell saving Peter Pan's life by drinking the poison medicine, and Peter Pan saved Tinkerbell's life from dying. And except